It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America. Yeah. By the way, speaking of America.
Yeah?
And yes, I did say America with an M.
America.
I'm doing this from memory, but the Babylon Bee headline that I saw yesterday, it said, Democrats to counter Elon Musk with the new Un-American Party.
I think they already have that.
Yeah, exactly.
They just need to change the name from Democratic Party to Un-America Party.
So on The View, just to finish this up here, The View was going after Obama, saying it's not the people, it's the politicians. Then they briefly went after Mark Cuban.
Yeah.
Who went after the fact that it's just, the whole thing is just Trump sucks. Co-host Anna Navarro addressed Cuban's remarks directly and said, yeah, okay, so some of us say Donald Trump sucks. He does suck, and it feels good to say it. Okay. Like I've always said before, The View gives the incorrect stereotype promoted by misogynist men. Speaking of the misogynist Democratic Party and the radical transgender movement, that women are emotional nightmares with no critical thinking skills at all, who are ignorant on the facts. That doesn't directly apply to this, but I just love saying that.
I just want to remind people. Because it's true.
But I love how, they were attacking Obama way worse than Cuban.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Navarro said people weren't waiting for a savior like Obama suggested. Stop looking for a quick fix. Stop looking for the Messiah, Obama said. You have great candidates running races right now. Support those candidates.
Mm-hmm.
You know that after what I feel about The View, you know how bad Obama is when The View may be winning the argument.
That's the most brilliantest point I've heard on this whole thing, and maybe all week on anything.
Well, you and I.
That's hold on a second. I want you to rephrase. I want you to just say that again. Because we need to hear it again in all of its glory.
Well, and I did. I referenced how I have insulted justifiably The View over and over and over and over again.
You set the table for this, which makes it even a more solid point.
Yes, and I've often said, in fact, I've said it today. The View gives the incorrect, the totally false stereotype that misogynists love, that women are emotional nightmares that have no critical thinking skills and are ignorant on a significant portion of issues. I also brought up the fact that the misogynist party right now, because of the radical transgender movement, is the Democratic Party. But basically I said, though, after their debate with Obama, it's all screwed up when The View is actually winning the argument against Obama.
Yeah.
It's all, we live in a bizarro world but again, my point is not to compliment the people of The View.
Well, it's all relative.
But to go after the idiocy of the myth of Obama. And he was out there more. Remember when he was out there before the election?
Yeah.
Was it before the election? He was talking to the young black men?
Yeah, it was.
Chastising them. It's like, you need to shut up. But, nobody's into him anymore. No one. When The View goes after
George
him.
Clooney.
Not even, especially George Clooney.
Uh-huh. Yeah, if the View makes a solid point on Barack Obama, it's over. Turn the lights out. Quite frankly, if all the rumors weren't true about his marriage, and I were Michelle at this point after the View making that point, I'd start rethinking, going, maybe we need to make those rumors true. Maybe I need to call a lawyer because his usefulness is over.
Oh,
it certainly is for the left.
It's just bad. Every time I hear Obama speak, it's just like, God, he's such an intellectual lightweight.
Yeah.
He's really clueless. And then I think about just everything that happened. And I know, it was 17 years ago, but it was still absolutely insane. And we said it at the time. And that's why I love the fact that we have come up with, if we run Eric for president, Eric's motto is going to be, I'm Eric Harley. We'll get you things and stuff.
I promise you things
and stuff.
And stuff.
Instead of hope and change.
Yeah.
And that's
more solid, I think.
Well, it does mirror with the Democrat consultants saying Democrats need to talk abundance, which means people do better.
Yeah.
You're going to do better. Right. Not that you're a victim.
Right.
We're going to ensure, because we know that you're out there working hard every day, and so we're going to ensure, that you have abundance, but you can't promise them things, and those things don't improve their lives.
Right. I'm going to promise you things.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Right. Now, you said promise, not deliver.
I have been told by many experts, many are saying, Gary, many claim that I don't need to deliver. Some people are claiming, I'm going to fall right in. I'll do beautifully. I'll serve 3 whole terms.
So I saw this story from the New York Post.
All right.
And this was on Mamdani meeting with CEOs.
Oh.
And
yeah.
When I read this, I went, he's trying to become Obama 2.0. The mayoral frontrunner, Mamdani, stuck to his socialist guns during a highly anticipated powwow with Big Apple business leaders on Tuesday, doubling down on his plan to raise their taxes if elected. Mamdani, who just last month said billionaires should not exist, schmoozed with the roughly 100 CEOs convened by the powerful Partnership for New York City at his request for the first of 2 days of scheduled meetings with business biggies. The 90-minute meeting's temperature remained low, even as Mamdani was grilled about his communist tinge and anti-Israel comments, including his refusal to condemn the Globalize the Intifada rallying cry, one attendee told the Post. Asked about his intent to slap the ultra-wealthy, and corporations, Mamdani told the executives that taxes have been raised on those groups in the past without resulting in an exodus of high earners from the Big Apple. He did not back away from any policy positions, though he did it in a much more non-confrontational manner. It shows he's a good politician. He was very confident. The slick Mamdani also distancing himself from his past use of the phrase, seizing the means of production. And when I read that, I went, and I know he's only running for mayor of New York, not president of the United States. It reminded me when Obama would not wear an American flag.
Yep.
Remember that?
Yep. He said it gave a false sense of patriotism.
Right. Until his aides apparently told him,
you got to.
If you're going to, if they're interviewing you to be the president of General Motors.
Yeah.
And they're giving you a tour of the plant, and they tell you to put the GM hat on, and you refuse to do it. You can't do it. Okay, I made up that example.
Yeah.
But they finally convinced him, you're running for president of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Idiot. Put on the damn flag.
I mean, he fought that
and he
for
did.
a
Yeah,
while.
he did. But
He fought that for a while.
he finally put it on.
Yeah.
So, of course, he was true. He was promoting a false sense of patriotism.
Well, at that point, that's the only place you can go. Because if he said that and then put the pen on, it means he was engaging in promoting a false sense of patriotism.
Which was true.
Which we all know was true. It's like he wanted to prove it.
Yes.
Someone said, prove it, and he put it on. Wow.
But Mamdani had distanced himself from the past use of the phrase, seizing the means of production, a Marxist concept, but in a roundabout way, chalking it up to a rookie mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Another business bigwig in attendance said. It was very frustrating, the source said, and this is the quote from this source that said to me, oh, okay, he's trying to be Obama. He talks so much and says so little.
Yeah.
Remember when Obama would be asked a question and he'd go on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, nobody would interrupt him on the line.
Right. Yep.
They wouldn't. They're all political. They wouldn't.
No.
And so finally he'd be finished 5 minutes later. And I'm not exaggerating.
No.
He'd go 5 minutes. And, well, you didn't really answer my question.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sit-down that was requested by Mamdani will be followed by a Wednesday confab with tech industry leaders. And he was snubbed by J.P. Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon, who sits on the partnership's board.
Oh, yeah.
And other Wall Street titans, many of whom sent non-executive underlings, sources said.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is just in listening mode, joked one banking bigwig. Dimon, who branded Mamdani a Marxist at an event in Ireland last week, begged off with a scheduling conflict, according to bank reps.
Uh-huh.
Even with the brush-off, Mamdani's move to engage business leaders shows the tax the rich firebrand shifting towards broader outreach ahead of the November election, which means he's going to try to hide what he actually believes.
By the way, this comes from it was just a few days ago. Jamie Dimon saying that the Democratic Party, they have big hearts and little brains.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. I have a lot of friends. This is a quote from Jamie Dimon, CEO of Chase, J.P. Morgan Chase. Quote, I have a lot of friends who are Democrats, and they're idiots. Whoa, dude. I always say they have big hearts and little brains. Wow. They do not understand how the real world works. Almost every single policy rolled out failed. Is Jamie Dimon? You know, he's a lifelong Democrat.
Yep.
Is it over?
All right, now tell me if this is a little bit of editorializing in this story from the New York Post.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. Listen to this. Here we go. Even with the brush off, Mamdani's move to engage business leaders shows the tax the rich firebrand shifting towards broader outreach ahead of November's general election, when he'll face incumbent Mayor Eric Adams, a stubborn ex-governor Andrew Cuomo, Republican nominee Curtis Sliwa, and independent Jim Walden. Stubborn Andrew Cuomo is. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! I just love it so much.
Just when I was out, I pulled myself back in.
Now, did Cuomo ever? Did he finalize what he said he was going to do? That he said he's only running if he'll only run, and at the end of September, if he's not in the lead, that he will pull out. If everyone else pulls out and leaves just one person, or two people running against each other.
Yeah, I don't know if he's still standing on that or not, because that's kind of that's a big qualifier. you're pledging everybody else inside of your pledge. All right, everybody, come on, get on board with me. We're not doing that. What are you talking about? I'll quit if you quit. No.
We're really in trouble if all of a sudden Mamdani tomorrow comes out with his new slogan, I want to be mayor of New York. I promise you things and stuff.
Things and stuff. Yeah.
You're in deep trouble.
Oh, yeah.
866-90-RED-EYE.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by Howe's Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
The iconic Grand Canyon Lodge on the North Rim, destroyed by wildfire.
And this was actually a fire that was sparked by lightning on the 4th of July across Grand Canyon National Park. And unfortunately, that has burned through some historic buildings, including cabins.
It is one of several wildfires burning in the west currently, according to USDA meteorologist Brad Rippey.
Over the next couple of days, we're seeing the peak threat for wildfires shifting northward. So we're kind of eyeing the area from the northern Great Basin northward through the Snake River Plain and into areas east of the Cascades as kind of the focus for potential new wildfire development.
With dry thunderstorms across the interior Pacific Northwest, potentially producing lightning strikes that could spark wildfires.
We are continuing to watch areas from, say, the Grand Canyon northward through the Great Basin and into the Northwest for either active fires or potential future fires. It could make for a very active second half of July and into August in terms of western wildfire activity.
I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Get in touch with Red Eye Radio, toll free at 866-90-RED-EYE.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Jumping on the Mamdani story, progressive Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg is being slammed by his GOP opponent, Maud Marin, for policy she said gets criminals a get-out-of-jail-free card, contributing to a massive surge of shoplifting and organized crime in America's largest city. This comes after the retail industry leaders testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee on Tuesday on the dramatic rise in organized retail theft in recent years. According to the most recent data from the National Retail Federation, retailers reported a 93% increase in the average number of shoplifting incidents per year in 2023 compared to 2019, and a 90% increase in dollar loss due to shoplifting during the same period. The study further said retailers surveyed saw a 26% increase in shoplifting incidents from 2022 to 2023. The report said shoplifting has become a problem for retailers across the country now on a daily basis.
Yep.
More on that coming up.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
And he's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thanks so much for being here this morning. Download our Red Eye Radio app today, will you please?
And thank you.
Yes. And you can listen when and where you choose.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the things we've talked about the last couple of days is what Obama said to Democrats and then what Cuban said to Democrats. Cuban saying it's got to be more than Trump sucks. And Obama got bashed by The View. You had other Democrats trying to defend him in a way. We'll get to that here in just a moment. Cuban, he got hit a little bit, but it was more the right that took him on. And what I saw yesterday was what we had said. Excuse me, you were part of the Trump sucks. You supported Kamala Harris. Tell us where she stood except for Trump sucks.
Yep.
And so it's fascinating to watch all this because, as we have said, it's very simple. We've said it a long time ago. You have had a number of people. I can't think of her name right now. The Lindy Lee.
Yeah.
Who has come out and said they're wrong on all the issues. You have had Roy Teixeira, a longtime Democrat. Runs the Liberal Patriot. They're wrong on all the issues.
Jamie Dimon, I think we have to throw in.
Jamie Dimon. They're wrong on all the issues. Wrong on all the issues. Douglas Schoen, who said they're wrong on the issues.
Right.
They've got to change where they are on the issues. Well, I found this little ditty from CNN, and it was Brad Palumbo, who is a co-founder of Base Politics, a Republican leading consultant, on with and I just don't know her name. I'll have it in a second here. But it's the Democrat consultant, as saying, it's where they stand on the issues, and then he brings up an issue, and she lies.
Yep.
She accuses him of lying, but she accusing him of lying is her lying. Here we go.
Yeah.
Obama's falling into the messaging trap. The issue for Democrats is not just the messaging. A lot of them seem to think that, well, if we just got the messaging right, America would love our ideas. Actually, no. A lot of their ideas are deeply unpopular. The Democrats have allowed themselves to become the party that stood in almost uniform behind child sex changes across America.
That's just not true.
I'm sorry, I can explain it in 30 seconds how true it is. Joe Biden brought Dylan Mulvaney to the White House for an interview talking about how important it was to keep those procedures legal in all 50 states. Every Democrat, after the recent Supreme Court decision, almost every Democrat in Washington, put out a statement decrying it, that states would dare regulate puberty blockers being given to 11 or 12-year-olds. On the border, on inflation, there are many issues where it's not a messaging issue. The policy is also the problem for Democrats.
So what I would say is that on that piece, that is not true. Democrats did not campaign on that. Did Democrats defend the dignity of the LGBTQ, including the trans community? Yes, and they will continue to do that.
She's lying, Maria Cardona. She's lying. Yeah. Of course they supported it.
Yep.
And that's where they are right now.
Yep.
They cannot admit it's where they stand on the issues.
Nope.
They keep insisting that it's just the messaging, and Republicans, that Kamala Harris would have won if Republicans didn't lie about her. What did you have to lie about in the Biden administration? What were the things that were most important to the people in the last election? The border? Inflation.
Yep.
We can bring the receipts.
We have the receipts.
I hate that term.
Yeah, me too.
We can bring all the receipts on both of those issues. And when you had Brad there talking about the radical transgender movement, I don't know of a radio show, podcast, whatever, media outlet that has covered the radical transgender movement as much as we have for as long as we have.
Yeah.
And yes, the vast majority, 99% or more of Democrats supported sex changes for minors without parent notification.
Yep.
And
Full stop.
And if you say that's not true, you're the liar.
Yep. It's on record.
Yeah. And on the border, sorry, the border's secure. We can't solve the problem without comprehensive immigration reform.
It was secure. The former Secretary for Homeland Security, Mayorkas, was rebutted by the Kamala Harris campaign. She was going to build a wall, remember? And he kept saying the border's secure. Sorry, Mayorkas.
Well, nobody bought that,
What?
did they?
What? Are
No.
you saying she was lying?
Yes, nobody bought that Kamala Harris would be tougher on the border than Trump.
Are you saying, Gary, that Kamala Harris was pretending to be somebody she's not? Yeah. Okay, there's that. I can't believe she would lie to the American people.
Yeah.
But it's, again, on the issues, it's very clear. The Democrats don't have a win. They just don't have a win. And I don't know, honestly, what they do to promote a win. I do believe they're going to stay on the whole anti-deportation thing. I think they're going to stay on that. And then if there's something about the economy they think they can win on next summer at the midterm, they'll try and jump on that. But if there's nothing there, it'll be all about abolish ICE.
Yeah, we said this the last couple of days. I mean, even before I think Cuban and Obama started on everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that is where I think we started the week with it, saying, because I think you started the week. Yeah, you started the week with it, where you said over the weekend, where are the Democrats going to go for the midterms?
What are they going to promote? What will their ads look like?
And the only thing that as I said, if the economy, you've already seen it out there. I mean, Democrats promoting like crazy that inflation's gone up 3 months in a row.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the public, the Republicans are out there stating, well, it's not due to the tariffs. And as we said earlier, no matter what the reasoning is, it doesn't matter politically.
Yeah.
All that matters is prices aren't going down.
Right.
I heard it again today that they were promoting today. Gas prices are the lowest they've been in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
My gas prices are higher than they were January 20th.
Mm-hmm.
Because knowing that on January 20th, I looked at the gas prices around me,
Mm-hmm.
and they were around $2 and I believe about $2.74.
Hmm.
And yesterday it was $2.94. Now, there's reasoning for it that has nothing to do with the performance of Donald Trump in office. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are places where gas prices are lower. But the fact is, it underscores the sensitivity where the Trump administration knows they have to be able to convince America that the economy is getting better.
Yeah, right.
And it's tough if inflation is slowly ticking up, irrespective of the reason for it. And if you can't get a GDP number between, roughly 2.5%. If you can't get between 2 and 2.5%, you may run into problems in the midterm. And that's the, when you have them promoting the success of the tariffs based on how much money is going into government coffers, they're not speaking to any independent out there.
Right. Yeah.
And you see conservatives are saying, well, you're promoting the fact that they're working because you're taxing the public more. You can't win that. And I can sense the desperation that they're looking for the good news. I saw Mike Johnson yesterday say, he goes, look, it's been absolutely wonderful because job expectations have been greater for the last 4 months. Well, you had 147,000. That's not a lot of jobs compared to past years.
Right.
When you look at past decades. And when it comes to what they want in the jobs, because we already broke down the jobs for you from the Labor Department. Of those 147,000 jobs last month, 80,000 of them were state and local government workers. 127,000 of them were government workers and healthcare workers. Manufacturing base down minus 7,000. Now, the problem is this is a political problem, not necessarily a problem of substance based on what happens over the next year, because you can't make the judgment of where the economy is going on 1 month. But when you're using that as your defense, when the monthly figures become your defense, the monthly figures will be used against you by the opposition.
Right. Yeah, don't use it as a football unless you want it coming back at you.
Right.
Yeah.
And we have stated over and over again, we're arguing that in the political way, not the way of substance, looking at the fact that you need to take and look at an economy. You know, if you look at a 6-month period, then you have and we've said this irrespective of who is in political office, that you don't judge an economy by the numbers that come in 1 month, especially when all these numbers are always reversed going down the road, or they're adjusted going down the road.
Right.
But if you're saying that the economy is doing great because we're hiring much more government and healthcare workers and manufacturing is going down, and the success of the tariffs is based on the monthly income, or they've used the 103 billion, over the past couple of months, you're not convincing conservatives or anybody else that's having problems paying their bills that that is their sign of success. That would be my advice to the administration.
Right.
Which then they would call me names.
Lazy Gary. I don't even know what that means.
But it's true.
Sleepy Gary.
Old Gary.
Old Gary. Everybody knows.
Time to retire, Gary. No, I want
Retirement Gary.
But this all comes from the position that I want them to win. I want Republicans to win.
No, that's full on what we want.
Yeah.
The victory.
And I want
we
Trump.
Want the same thing they want.
I want at the end of this term to Trump be one of the most successful presidents.
Yep.
And in some ways, especially in foreign policy, he's doing things I've never seen before, covering politics for almost a half century.
Yep. No, we want
he's
him
having
to win.
great successes there.
Yep.
So we shall see.
We'll see where it goes.
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Yesterday, we celebrated our 20th anniversary, so we're into our 21st year now.
Yep.
And the response I hated the most was the night, and I don't have it here. It just popped into my head right now, so I'm not looking at my email right now. It was on X. Very nice woman listener said to us, guys, forget about retirement. You need to be live 7 days a week.
Hey.
Look at Alan over there. No way.
No.
But thank you so much. The responses, and I'll make sure everyone that we acknowledge, because it's going to take a while to get through to say something to everybody, or just acknowledge that we read every one of them, which we have.
Yeah.
But and we'll do it. And if we haven't, we will. But thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was
really
terrific to get that response. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know,
How many did you get that they like you more than me?
Only the one I sent myself.
Oh, same with me.
Yeah.
Okay. I just
That's the only one. Yeah. I didn't get any of that from anybody else.
Which, you know what really stinks? As Jerry Seinfeld said to the cast.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
No.
No, I wasn't even into it for me either.
Whenever they think of one of us, they'll think of all of us.
Yeah.
So whenever anybody thinks of me, they'll think of you, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Is that a curse or a good thing?
I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.